one of the most challenging jobs on the car for me personally has been making the windscreen. And so I've taken quite a lot of video footage about various stages of it, and so I'm going to put it together into a little mini series. So this is part one, which is about the initial making of the actual framework and how I went about it. Onto the windscreen, which I managed to sort a few things out now with that, which is good. Basically what I've got some paper or some card that's been stuck with wood adhesive to the corners of the marine ply windscreen, and that has allowed me to mark out accurately the angles that I need to bisect the corners to get those nice. So I'm gradually dressing those down to make those the right size. The second windscreen stanchion is fitted now and bolted through to the steelwork on the car. Scuttle's in position and all screwed down, so that's in the final position where it will be. I have made the well, this is a galvanized steel panel, just as a bit of a practice panel. That is there just to represent the thickness of the new aluminium which I've got, which is over there leaning up against the wall. So this represents the thickness of that, and also goes up underneath the scuttle, and the bolts for the windscreen feet pass through it, so it's allowed me to set it all up perfectly. If we just look round to the other side, I made a little short panel top, if you like, just out of a piece of old scrap aluminium, and again that's there just to replicate the same thing. So it's giving me that thickness of the aluminium on top of the marine ply, which tucks underneath the scuttle, and the bolts pass through it. So that's all good and how it will be. I still not completely finalised the surface of this. Around where the rubber sits, I've got some new rubber that's on order. I'll have a look at that to make sure that it is exactly the right section, the right profile, the same as what I have been using before I finally finish this off. So I might just need to take a little bit more off there, so there's not quite such a step as it steps down onto the aluminium panel. On the original TF, this would have been a steel panel, so there would have been very thin difference. It wouldn't have been, you know, sort of 3, 4, maybe even 5 millimeters there difference in the step face, because this is fiberglass. That would have just been like a 1 mil step face onto the side panel. So I might thin that down a little bit more before I finished. Not decided yet. So it's really all about fitting the windscreen at the moment. I've been having some dimensions given to me from John Burrows, so thank you for that, John. At first I thought I'd not got enough material for the size. I thought I cut them too short, but now I know I've got just enough. I've got a dimension which runs from the center line there up the center of the screen there, and I think at the top of the screen finishes. It's going to finish. Oh, let's zoom in. It's going to finish about there, so there's a little bit more to come off there, and then there's going to be a very slight curve on it down to there. So not a lot, just a very subtle curve which needs to I need to put onto the board. So if we look at the marine ply, it's 12 mil marine ply. What I've done out of the rear of the screen, I've cut a rebate out so that the brass section just slides on quite nicely. It doesn't, you know, bang it on, it just locates and just holds in position quite nicely. So let's just flip this over. So This is the offside side piece, and you can see it just fits on there quite nicely. I'm quite pleased with that corner. That's not too bad. By the time it's screwed up, the time the screws are in, that should be quite nice. It's sitting nicely against the angle of the timber. And what I'm doing, I'm just starting to, you can see those marks there, in line with those, just starting to dress away an angle on there, ready for the top rail. So the next job I really need to do is to remove this material from the top and put that sort of rebated step face in, so that there it is, the F section top rail, which is almost straight. It's just a very slight curve. That's probably all the curve I shall keep on it. So I just need to put rebate onto this, well, cut it down to size first and then rebate it so that I can slide the brass section on place and do the final dressing and fitting of the corners. We've had a little trial fit of me in the car. I'll stick a picture in the B-roll. The seat's been put back in, the driver's seat, so that I can just make sure that I'm looking through the windscreen as opposed to looking at what will be the top rail of the windscreen. Because the last thing I'm doing is looking under the windscreen all the time, and it wouldn't be very comfortable to drive. So that's that. We've had the folding hood frame up and down a few times, and I'm quite pleased with where that will sit. There'll be maybe a very small alteration on here. I just need to decide how big a wooden header rail I need to fit between the top of the screen and there. So that's one of the things I need to decide on next. The brackets that clamp the windscreen on, I had a bit of did a bit of research last night and discovered that they were MGB ones. So I've got a couple of those latches that will be on order and be with me quite soon. So the only other thing that I'm thinking about is there's a little bit of a gap. You can see that there. There's a small gap underneath there where the hood frame sits. So I might just drop this frame down about probably 6 to 8 mil for the final position. So that will mean I'll just have to alter the position of the windscreen, of the folding hood frame mounting. So I'm quite happy with where it is front to back. I think just a little bit of fine tuning to do on that. So I can't stress this enough. It's so important to take your time with the installation of your hood frame. Make sure that you get it sitting exactly where you want it, so that the proportions of your car look exactly how you want it to look. There's such a lot you can do with the actual hood frame in terms of position. It's one thing getting the TF Replica items and fitting them to your car, but how you fit them and the position you fit them is absolutely crucial. So anyway, enough said on that. Thank you very much for watching this. Stay tuned, there's a lot more to come on this subject, so I'll see you in the next one.